Should you buy the Insta360 Go 2? I've actually been shooting with it since November of 2020 as a beta tester. Here are 46 features and 10 disadvantages. One of the biggest improvements of the Insta360 Go 2 is the charge case. With the original Insta360 Go, the charge case was just for charging and for data transfer. But with the Go 2, the charge case is now also a multi-purpose shooting tool. Take a look. So first of all, it now has a 1/4-20 tripod hole. It also has a built-in stand like this. And you'll notice that it has an adjustable angle. And why does it have all those new features? That's because it now doubles as a handle and a stand for the Insta360 Go 2. The addition of that screen and the buttons turns the Insta360 Go 2 into a fully featured camera. You'll be surprised at its capabilities. Not only can you control the Go 2 with the new case, but you can also use the case as a wireless remote control for the Go 2. And the Go 2 now also features for the first time remote live view. And in the remote live view, you now also have a live histogram. So on the upper right corner, just tap on that hexagon, it will reveal the live histogram feature, or if you want, a rule of thirds grid. Now, one of the biggest limits of the original Insta360 Go was the limited recording time. So you could only record in 1-minute videos or up to 5 minutes in the FPV mode. Now with the Insta360 Go 2, you can record videos up to 30 minutes long. And it also features a longer battery life. With the original Insta360 Go, the battery life was limited to around 60 minutes, and that already includes the camera as well as the case. With the Go 2, the camera can record up to 30 minutes at 1440p. When the Go 2 is in the charge case, it can record up to 150 minutes at 1080p. And now charging the case also takes less time. With the original Insta360 Go, charging into full used to take up to 90 minutes. With the new case for the Go 2, you can charge it to full power in just 65 minutes. Another major improvement is durability. With the original Insta360 Go, the lens was fully exposed and it wasn't very durable. And actually, this is my second Insta360 Go, because with my first one, I cracked the lens when I crashed my FPV one time. But the new Go 2 comes with a lens protector and it's removable. This makes it much more durable. Now, speaking of the lens protector, it can also be swapped out for an ND filter. ND filters can be used for both photos and videos to get slower shutter speeds for intentional motion blur, which can look more organic or can actually change the emotion of the scene. Now, we talked about ruggedness. What about water resistance? Now, you may recall that the Go was water resistant up to IPX4. Now, the Insta360 Go 2 is now waterproof, not just water resistant. It has an IPX rating of IPX8 and can be submerged up to 4 meters or 12 feet. So speaking of underwater photos, another new feature is aquavision. So you know when you shoot underwater and the colors look a little bit blue? Well, aquavision will automatically correct your shot to make it look more natural. Now, what about image quality? Yes, the Go 2 also improves the image quality over the Insta360 Go. The Go 2 now also features a larger sensor size of 1/2.3 inches. According to Insta360's representative, it's actually the same sensor as the Insta360 One X2. In addition to the larger sensor, the Go 2 also features a higher bitrate. The original Insta360 Go had a bitrate of 40 Mbps. With the Go 2, the bitrate increases to 80 Mbps. So now we get a higher resolution. With the first Insta360 Go, the resolution was limited to 1080p. With the Insta360 Go 2, you can get a resolution of up to 1440p in the standard video mode, time-lapse mode, and the time shift mode, what used to be called hyperlapse. Slow motion has also been improved. You now get a higher frame rate and higher resolution. You can now capture slow motion videos up to 1080p at 120 FPS. And now for the first time, the Insta360 Go also gets HDR video mode. With HDR video mode, the Go 2 can capture 2 exposures per frame of video to capture extended dynamic range, especially with highlights, at resolutions up to 1440p at 24 FPS. Now what about storage size? The Insta360 Go 2's storage capacity has been increased from 8 gigs to 32 gigs. Now of that 32 gigs, 28 are usable. Now so far we've been talking about image quality. What about the workflow? Well, the Go 2 now has a new no-stitch basic mode. So with this mode, you can use the video straight out of the camera, no need to process it, and it will be stabilized. Please note that the stabilization of basic mode will not be as good as the stabilization of Pro mode, which has full 360-degree roll correction. Another improvement to the workflow is the video format, which is now MP4, not INSV. This means that if you have third-party software, let's say for stabilization or for editing, you can import the Go 2 videos directly into your software without processing them first in Insta360 Studio. But if you shot in Pro mode and you want to use Insta360's flow state stabilization, then yes, you will still need to process your video either in the app or in the Insta360 Studio desktop app. Now so far we've been focusing on video features. Are there any improvements for photos? Absolutely. The Insta360 Go 2 can now use raw DNG format for both photos as well as interval shooting mode. And now for the first time, you have full control over exposure when shooting photos. You can shoot in ISO priority, shutter priority, or full manual exposure. And when you shoot photos in RAW, you can use PureShot. PureShot uses AI-assisted RAW conversion to bring out the best details, especially in the shadows. It does a great job, especially in low light conditions. Speaking of low light, you also now have the night shot feature. With night shot, the Go 2 will take a burst of 9 raw photos. 8 of those photos will be at the same exposure, so that the software can stack them using median stacking to reduce noise. The night shot is deliberately underexposed, -4 EV, to capture highlights. So with night shots, you can capture amazing dynamic range with very low noise. And yes, you can also use night shot in daytime. Next is Starlapse. Starlapse lets you capture time-lapse videos of the night sky and add automatic motion trails. It looks really epic. For videos, there are a couple of new processing options. First, there's a vivid color profile. Traditionally, Insta360's colors tended to be more neutral and more conservative because they wanted to give you maximum flexibility in editing the shots when you're color grading it. Now, with vivid color profile, you can get shots that look great straight out of the camera, no editing needed. Another new option for videos is Action View, which captures a wider field of view for videos. The Go 2 also has several improvements for editing your videos. First, you have Jump Cut. So Jump Cut lets you trim longer videos into multiple segments and trim each segment all in one step. Now, Jump Cut is cool, but what if you could do it automatically? And that's exactly what AI Trim does. It analyzes your video, breaks it up into multiple segments, and highlights just the best parts for you. Another new video editing feature is Freeze Frame. So Freeze Frame can slow down the footage to as slow as 960 FPS for ultra slow motion. Now please note that Freeze Frame is not magic, so it works best when the change is gradual and predictable. And finally, there's Face Filter, which is a little bit politically incorrect. might know about beauty filter from other Insta360 cameras. What it does is it detects faces in your photos and videos and makes the skin smoother, but also makes the skin lighter. As if that wasn't enough, well, face filter can also edit the shape of your eyes and the nose. So it can make the eyes look larger and the nose can make it look narrower. No comment. The last new feature is the USB Type-C port instead of micro USB. In addition to all those features, the Insta360 Go 2 carries over many of the features of the Insta360 Go, such as being very compact and lightweight. The Insta360 Go is of course one of the smallest cameras in the market. Now, the Go 2 is slightly larger and also slightly thicker, but it's still extremely compact. As for weight, the original Insta360 Go was 25 grams. The Go 2 is 30 grams, so slightly heavier. You also have a flow state image stabilization with 360 degrees of horizon correction. You also have flash cut, which is AI assisted editing, an adjustable aspect ratio, which you can change after the fact. Just like the original Go, the Go 2 has two customizable quick capture buttons. Photo resolution remains the same at 2560 by 2560, and just like the original Go, the Go 2 has a lot of accessories that are included in the kit so that you can use your Go 2 almost anywhere. So the Go 2 has a lot of features, but it does have some disadvantages. Here are 10 disadvantages of the Insta360 Go 2. Number one is storage. Just like the original Go, the Go 2's storage is not removable. So if it fills up, then you have no choice but to download your videos to your phone first before you can record additional videos. Next is the battery life. Although it's extended, it's still not removable. So if you run out, you will have to charge it before you can record any additional videos. Another issue is vampire drain. So the Go 2 will drain its batteries after a few days, even if you do not use it. So be sure to charge it the night before you need it. Another disadvantage, there's no external microphone option. Now the Go 2 does use Bluetooth, so I'm hoping that Insta360 will add some kind of Bluetooth compatible accessory like a microphone, so that's on my wish list. Another disadvantage is that when you use the Go 2 with the included magnetic pendant, the video tends to point upward, so you might not capture the best angle. And because the Go 2 is slightly larger than the original Go, it will not be able to use most Insta360 Go accessories. Now, in terms of video quality, it's much better than the original Go, but it's not as high as most 4K smartphones or action cams. And finally, there are some features that are not available on the Insta360 Go 2, such as Insta360 Stats, which are GPS overlays. So for example, in some Insta360 cameras, you can see the speed or altitude, pressure, things like that. You do not have that option on the Insta360 Go 2 as of March 2021. Another missing option is the HDR photo mode. This one was a bit surprising because it has night shot, which is a burst of 9 raw photos. So it should technically be capable of it, but I didn't see it in the app as of March 2021. And finally, one feature that disappeared from the original Go is keyframing. With the original Go, you could do a little bit of keyframing, so you could tilt the video slightly upward or slightly downward. With the Go 2, there's no keyframing. So now let's talk about price. How much is the Go 2? It's $299. And with that price, it includes the camera, the charge case, which as you saw also doubles as a remote control, and a lot of accessories. So who is this camera for? First of all, for social media, it's a great camera to use because it's so small you can carry it with you. It's always ready to shoot. With the quick capture feature, you can shoot almost immediately. It's faster than shooting with your phone, and you can get amazing angles. Now, speaking of amazing angles, it's also great for video creators who want to capture unique perspectives, just like, for example, with the teaser trailer that you saw. And it's perfect for POV shots. Go-To is also a great option for FPV pilots. Now, you might know about the Insta360 Smoke camera, which is also 30 grams and captures 4K video. But the benefit of the Go-To is that you have 360-degree roll stabilization. So for example, you can use the Go-To to simulate barrel rolls or inverted flying. If you want to buy the Go-To, then check out the link in the description below. Now, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Let me know in the comments. I do my best to answer every comment to my videos. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in 360.